Oh my gosh. So if you've been watching the episodes, you would know that I quit my job as a senior leader in an organization and I transitioned into entrepreneurship full time. And it has been a year since I've done this. And there have been so many lessons, so many changes. So, as I mentioned, I have three companies. The first one is Impact Coaching International. The second one, IGC Group Inc. And the third one, I have entered the tech industry in another market. And for me, I just love business. I love the drive of it all. I love supporting multiple clients, understanding different business models, you know, helping them get towards their goals. I love leadership and supporting leaders and helping them to develop and become their truest self, be authentic and be bold, courageous in their leadership decisions. I absolutely love it. For me, as I reflect on the past year, I was speaking to God and then I was speaking to my husband, and I was like, would I do this again? Absolutely. Did everything go according to what I had planned or what I thought? No. But would I do it again? Absolutely. Because there is a peace that I feel now, um, finally getting permission from God to do that thing that has been on my heart. And I saw Torre Roberts posted it on Threads recently that God gave you the desire for a reason. And I believe that I am completely aligned right now. There is no other place that I'm supposed to be. I am right where I am supposed to be in this season. I am not going to bash corporate or bash a job because I don't know if God would want me to go back into corporate. It will be my preference not to, because I wanted this for so long and I'm finally in what I prayed for. I finally understand when they say, like my friend recently built her house. When she say, I am finally in what I prayed for. That's my story in this season as well. I prayed to be a business owner and I'm finally doing it. How did I get here? It's been a journey. So if you were watching the previous episodes, you will know that I made a decision in 2021. But God had a different plan. And I was chatting with a friend recently and she said, when you make a decision on something, I never heard you go back on that decision. And I said, no, for me, when God and I chat and he says, this is what you are supposed to do, and I surrender and I accept that I will obey, I am not going back and trying to renegotiate. I am present in the moment. This is the assignment. I focus on the assignment. If I feel internal conflict, I go to God and then refocus on the assignment. So that time flew. Those years flew by. I grew in the process. Yeah. But it was really a journey. Now, let's speak specifically to the transition. At the time when I knew that it was coming, this transition was about to begin, I started to look at the first thing that I remember that I know about myself. I look at the first thing that would impact me on this move. And that first thing was the finances. That is what we all talk about. That is what we all focus on. Financials. Will I be able to provide? And for many of you, thinking about the finances might be for many reasons, right? You always have to look at your relationship with money. For me, one of the moments that I can remember, well, two things. There was the moment where my dad He was a successful business owner as well, owned a construction firm, supporting Royal Westmoreland, Sandy Lane, that type of stuff. And there was a point in time where the money ran out. The money ran out. And at that point in time, I was going into university. And so my family rallied around me, my brothers rallied around me to be able to achieve the end result, right? To be able to complete the degree. But I still remember it, even though it made me the resilient person that I am today, even though it has given me the support, it has strengthened or solidified my view of my family, and the support that they have given to me over those years is something that I still remember as it was a challenging time. Another memory I had was going to the door to meet the postman and seeing, just leaning my hand on, we had like, it was like wooden, our home was wooden at the time, leaning my hand on the on the wood, and my hand going straight through. I remember these things. And because of those core memories, I also know what I don't want to experience going forward. So of course, financial was a big thing. I remember working in the bank. I used to be a teller, guys. I started off there, and worked with the bank for about 5 years. I left as an account manager. That was the last role. But I would remember working and living paycheck to paycheck. And when I studied hard, and I got a job where my career started at the Barbados Employers Confederation. And that's when I started to feel some comfort. I started to breathe. And I didn't want to let that go. So fast forward to, almost the end of a decade. And I am now director of human capital in an organization, earning pretty decent salary, feeling very comfortable, can help and support family and friends and random strangers. And I'm about to walk away from that. Of course, finances is one of those things that you want to touch on, that you want to discuss, that you want to ensure you get it right. So, in leading up to my transition, one of the things that I did was I created a budget, a 12-month plan, my husband and I. What would we need? Not just to survive. What do we need to be able to feel contented and comfortable? And that is how we planned out our budget for the next 12 months. And we worked like crazy to save, to ensure that we had at least 6 months of that tucked away for a rainy day. So that was one of the things that I did to prepare. I don't think that God calls us to be careless and reckless in how we move. Because if you think about it, whatever it is that you're doing has to give him glory. And should what you do backfire, the fastest thing someone would do, someone that does not have the level of faith that is necessary to understand what just took place, the first thing they will say was, I thought God had you. I thought you said God told you to leave your job. I thought you said God told you to do this. That's the first thing. So we can't give them that. We can't give access in that way. Never create an avenue for the enemy. So you have to be effective and you have to move with wisdom. So that's the first thing I started on. The next thing I did to prepare was work on my heart. I understand who I am. I know the things that trigger me, that frustrate me. I have a tendency to not be contented. I have a tendency to lean towards resentment. So I started to study out scriptures in the word that would help me and that I can hold on to, that would guide me should I start to feel these emotions. I was doing a lot of studying on YouVersion, the Bible plans, just studying or anything that dropped into my spirit and God says, study this, I studied it. Because I wanted to ensure that I prepared not just my mental and my physical, but I wanted to prepare my heart and my spirit for the transition that I was about to make. My goal was not just to be a successful business owner, but to give God as much glory as possible. And for him to get the glory, it means that I have to do this properly. So I prepared. I remember saving some scriptures that I can look back on. I'll share a couple of them with you in a moment, but I really wanted to do that heart work to prepare me for my transition. A lot of us sometimes when we plan to make bold moves, when we plan to exercise our faith, we don't prepare this vessel that we carry in. We don't prepare our health, we don't prepare our emotions, we don't prepare our spirit. We just move out of instinct. And that is not how we are called to move. Yes, of course, we are called to trust God. But please, don't neglect wisdom. So that was the preparation.